Okay, we're covering how to add a local printer in Windows XP. Let me first of all start off by helping you see what printers we have installed. We'll go down to Start, up to Printers and Faxes, and you'll see it appears that we have 3 printers here, but we actually don't, because these two, the one that says XP Document Writer and Send to OneNote 2010, are drivers that programs use. You can't actually print to those and have them come out on a printer. We do have one printer installed, and you can see it's a network printer by the way it's named. And we'll cover network printers on another recording. So what we're going to do is we're going to minimize that so we can come back and see our local printer after it's been installed. We're going to go down to Start, up to Control Panel. And when Control Panel opens, you'll notice that it's in category view. So I'm going to change it to classic view to make it easier for me to find the run advertised programs. And you'll notice right down here is run advertised programs. So I'm going to double click on that. It begins my run advertised programs. Now, one important thing to notice is the areas and the categories. It should be set to all areas and all categories, because if I change those, I won't see all the things that are available. You could change that to look at just the math tools or just the ESE tools, but I usually leave it in all categories because the person behind you might not be able to find what they're looking for. So we're only going to scroll down to the L's for local, and you can see local printer install. So I'm going to double click on that, or I can click once and run, but it's easier to double click. And you'll see a simple interface come up. Here I'm going to pick my printer. That's important. If I don't pick the correct printer, I won't be able to print to it. So you read the name off the front of your printer and you pick it. For this situation, I've got a DeskJet D2360. So I'm going to pick the 2300 series because that also covers the 2360. And I'm going to click Add Printer. You'll notice that the Add Printer button pops back out whenever it's finished installing that driver. Now if I go back down to my printer and faxes, I still don't see my printer yet. That's because I have my printer on and I have it plugged into USB. But I'm going to just unplug it from USB and plug it back in. And you'll see down here at the bottom that it's found new hardware and it's beginning to install the 2300 series. And as soon as that's finished, you'll see the printer show up. And when it's completely finished, I can refresh and it'll show my 2300 series. Now there's one more thing that I want to do. I don't want to print to my network printer all the time. I want this to be my default printer. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to set as default printer. And you'll see the black check mark move up to that printer. So at that point I'm finished. Now if I had run into a problem where my printer never shows up even after I replug and plug back in and reboot, still don't get a printer, then the next thing that you need to do would be to add to put in a help desk ticket for a technician to come look at the situation. That very seldom ever happens, but if it does, we'd put a ticket in. If you get an error message inside of the install as you're installing, if something pops up and it's an error message, you'll need to write that down and include that in the help desk ticket. We also have a recording about how to put a help desk ticket in to make sure that the correct information is there. You may want to look at that at this time if you've had a problem.